So yeah, Logan and Matt, I understand you guys are students, you guys are entrepreneurs. Can you guys tell me a little bit more about yourself, what you do, who you are?
Right, so I'm Logan Nash. I'm currently a senior here at Michigan State studying packaging engineering with a minor in business. I've grown up in Michigan my entire life. Outside of the classroom, not only do I work on 4's almost every day, but I do IM basketball. I'm on the MSU club lacrosse team. Looking at the snow, I really want to go snowboarding right now.
Yep.
I like staying active, like being outside.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks for all coming. I'm Matt Rogien. I'm a senior here at Michigan State studying business management. I'm originally from the suburbs of Chicago. Outside of this, I personal train clients at a boxing gym, as well as I'm an amateur boxer.
Awesome. So I guess what made you guys get into entrepreneurship initially and ultimately found your company, which we'll get into later, 4's?
Yeah, so I always, growing up, wanted to start my own business. And going into college, one of my main goals was I wanted to come out working for myself. So I found a mission and kind of went off that.
Yeah, so we met freshman year in the dorms. It was a great time. For the first year and a half, we knew each other. We didn't do any business together.
Nope.
Like Matt said, he kind of always had this idea, to start something. And I kept hearing him talk about this pepper spray. And that's kind of where I got intrigued. I wanted to join, especially being at such a large campus for a year and a half. You kind of see how prevalent physical and sexual assault truly is, and it's a very real thing. It's a very real topic. So when Matt brought it up, I was all in. I was on board.
Awesome. Now before we get into 4's, by show of hands, has anyone heard of 4's before this event? Okay, we got a couple. We got a good amount. Okay. So yeah, tell me about 4's. What do you guys do?
Yep.
What are you guys about?
So we are launching an innovative pepper spray device. Most of these college women are carrying around these pink, bulky pepper spray devices, often, and it ends up in their purse or backpack. So we've created a drastically more convenient device, more fashionable device. It's got a glass breaker on it, as well as a 360 rotational clip. You hit it down, and it sends your current location out to 5 contacts you're choosing, as well as a text message that says, so-and-so has activated their device, here they're at.
So our entire device has been kind of shaped around what the consumer and what the market wants. We did a program through U of M called iCore, which basically focused on talk to the consumers, talk to who's on the market, and we had plenty of customer discovery, and all these little details about our devices just kind of came from feedback we got, different ways where we thought we could innovate the market a little bit.
Right.
Can you talk about that a little bit, what your customer discovery journey has been like? From maybe where you guys started to now, the iteration that's gone on.
Yep, so we started 2 years ago, and the original design was a pepper spray wristwatch. So that was the design. We only had files of it. We never could find engineers to prototype it, thank God, because that would have been wasted money.
Yeah.
We quickly realized that these women didn't want to wear 2 watches. So we're like, all right, let's make a smart watch that sprays pepper spray. And then we realized, I don't know if we want to compete with Apple right away.
Right.
That would kind of suck.
Yeah, so we started as Guardian Macelet. So, mace, bracelet, put those together, make macelet. And this is kind of where it all started. Like Matt said, we had this thing on the right, and that looks pretty difficult to build. So we kind of had to scrap that idea.
But it all followed the same mission of wanting to have the #1 safety device on the market.
Yeah, we kind of forgot to mention that. When we first started, we had that mission to combat assaults, to make the best pepper spray on the market or self-defense item. And that has stayed the entire time, but the product obviously has shifted, and
right.
We've had to bounce around other ideas.
So then we came to this conclusion. We were going to make a pepper spray device that fits on the Apple Watch band. We tested that out, figured out you can't really spray an aerosol canister upside down, and most people don't want to walk around with that thing hanging off them.
Yeah, imagine every day if you had this on your watch, you would be, hitting it on your side, bumping it into things, and, eventually it would start falling apart, and then you would have a product that doesn't really work.
Yeah. So, and also we were named Macelet at that time, and we had a meeting with our lawyer, and our lawyer basically said that we were going to get a cease and desist letter from the company called Mace. So we figured out that this is not what people wanted as a product, and this is not the name we could have, so we were left with no name, no product.
Yeah, so here's more of the transition into 444. So like Matt said, we kind of lost everything there. Here was kind of our original logo when we came up with the name of 4's. We wanted the 111, the 222 that makes up the 444.
And if you guys don't know what 4's means, it's 444, which is an angel number that stands for protection. And we like studied our target market and the consumer's behavior, and we felt like this was an empowering message that our brand could convey. So this is where we are now. And this is the device that we are currently in prototyping phases with, and that's going to get launched on the market. It's going to look a little bit more sleek. It might be made out of a carbon fiber, but it glows in the dark. It's got a 360 rotational angel wing clip. It's got a glass breaker on the bottom of it. It's just there's a cap that covers it, and you hit it down, and it sends your current location out to contacts you're choosing.
Yeah, the goal here is to really have this device at all times. You know, we're arm's length away at all times. So like Matt said earlier, like the purse, the backpack, we want to get it out of there directly on the hip, you know, your shirt, wherever you want to put it. And through customer discovery, we found that that second line of defense, that current location, is very important to the consumers in this market. And we try to tie in pepper spray and location together, and this is kind of where we landed right now. As you can see, we have a much better looking logo. It's a lot more slick.
And that device is also 7.5 centimeters, and like the ones we're competing with, like the pink bulky ones you guys see, are 9. So we're beating them out in size right now.
Yeah, so you guys have a clothing line for your brand. You guys are both wearing some 4's merch right now. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so we started this clothing line with the goal of kind of to gain brand awareness and brand recognition, so people knew who we were once we launched. And it's 2 different LLCs, so it's 2 separate businesses under 4's. We're currently in 1 retail shop on Grand River, in contacts with some more, and we're also selling online.
Yeah, so we started this, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, or we got them about, 4 months ago?
Yeah, 4 months ago.
And in our heads, we're like, we're going to sell these out in a month.
Yeah.
The e-commerce is going to go crazy. Instagram influencers will sell it all out. And that's just not the reality of it. We still have plenty left, but the sales are increasing, and you know that's something we kind of learned through this before we even got the pepper. Or we don't have the pepper spray yet, but before the pepper spray, this is a great practice for us to understand that our dreams and are not exactly going to turn out the way that they will.
We also learned like how to ship, like a warehouse. We needed a warehouse to store our products at. We needed a website platform. We needed to figure out how we were going to get it to the consumer. So we figured out the whole shipping process, which it was a good test run. I mean, we plan to expand on this brand, like these varsity jackets we plan to launch. We got joggers, hats coming out. It's honestly like just fun. Like it's kind of like a side business that we're just trying to get the brand out there. But our main focus is obviously the pepper spray.
Can you guys talk about like some of the importance of like building up your brand and like creating some like demand there before you actually launch your product, and like what that's done for you guys?
Yeah. So with these sweatshirts, like Matt said, it's very fun, but there's a goal behind it, and that's for people to be walking. Has anyone seen them on campus at all?
Cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's perfect. So that's the goal right there, is to kind of start with the community. Michigan State's the best community in the world. Everyone knows that. Start with the community. Have students walking around campus with the sweatshirts on, showing the logo, so people keep seeing it. And yeah, that's the goal for that.
Yeah, I mean, with starting a brand, you got to have an empowering message, right? So like you got to have something that's going to spark the attention of people. I think this, like, you look at it and you're like, what is that? I'm pretty curious. So like when people are walking around with this message, people are like, all right, what's this brand? Is it just a clothing line? But people are gonna know our brand once we launch our device, and that's the goal.
You guys mentioned, so your brand literally changed. You guys had to change your name because you got a cease and desist letter.
Yeah, we were gonna. Yep.
Can you talk about like how your view on entrepreneurship has changed like over time through the creation of your company, and then maybe any other changes that you guys have personally went through as your company has changed as well?
Yeah, I would say a definition of entrepreneurship is just obstacles, basically. I mean, it's one after another, and it's really up to you and, you know, your team, your partner, if you're going to stop at that obstacle or you're going to go around it.
Yeah.
Like you said, we had to change our name. We loved Macelet. We wanted to keep going with Macelet, but, you know, things happen for a reason. Now we think 4's is much better, and we got our name taken away and end up being kind of a bonus for us.
Yeah, it's very unpredictable. Like, you think there's just a straight little path and these 2 dots are going to connect, and then you end up taking 4 more stops before you get to that one little dot. So very unpredictable, but a lot of perseverance for sure.
Awesome. And then I understand you guys are part of the Burgess Institute of Entrepreneurship and Innovation here. Can you talk about like what that is so everyone knows, and then maybe like what role they've played in 4's?
Yeah, so they kind of set out, they are like entrepreneurial ecosystem, you could say, here at Michigan State. It's a bunch of like-minded individuals who are all trying to push a product or a venture or whatnot onto the market, and there are a bunch of mentors in the program. So we had no idea how to start a company 2 years ago. We thought we had it all figured out, you know, YouTube was going to do it. And we figured out that wasn't the case. So Burgess basically gave us like a template and a roadmap of what it looks like to start a company and the steps you need to go. It's not straight, right? But at least it was some sort of guideline that we could follow.
Yeah, we found it very important being around and talking to people that have done, you know, similar things that we want to do. And with that just comes, you know, our personal growth, because we get to learn off them. They give us pointers. At the start, Burgess gave us, you know, 5, 6 contacts to hit up. You know, we set up Zoom meeting. In the Zoom, we figure out there's just not the right connection, but then you get sent to someone else, and, you know, that kind of keeps happening, and, you know, you're just kind of on this wild goose chase trying to find, you know, manufacturer, electrical engineer, things like that can really help you. And it takes time, but Burgess has really helped like speed up that time, I would say.
Yeah.
Also funding, like they'll help you get to like little places like lawyer fees, or if you're setting up an LLC, they'll like pay for that, or like just little things like that. And also like connections, like we went out to a couple different events that they paid for and all the expenses paid for. That really elevated our business.
Yeah, and being a college student, we don't have too many funds flying around, so
Yeah.
if they can help anywhere they can, you know, we appreciate it.
Yeah. So yeah, probably everyone in here, I'm assuming, is a college student or around college student age, including you guys, and you guys have taken on this venture. Can you talk about like what kind of challenge that is at such a young age, and like some of the obstacles you've had to go through?
Yeah.
Not really having those experience or like maybe that connection network yet.
Yeah. So you're gonna look dumb in the beginning, and people, like, we're out here and we're hiring people who are 50 years older than us, who've been in the game for 30 plus years. And sometimes they look at you like you're little and like they want to walk on you. And you can't let that happen. Like, you got to know what you're talking about before you go in a meeting, or they're going to try to walk on you, right? So it's making yourself knowledgeable, and you kind of, I don't know if you want to add more to that.
Yeah, I mean, try and start as quick as you can, basically, because like I said, it's obstacle after obstacle, and if you're able to get some of those obstacles done as quick as possible, you know, that can only help you. But piggybacking on what Matt just said is, you know, we would hop in Zoom meetings, like I said, and people would just kind of, you know, talk down to us. They don't know
Overlook us, yeah.
And maybe in the moment we didn't know what we were talking about, but it's kind of hard to gain that respect from someone that's, you know, 55 or something, thinking that like we really have no clue what we're talking about. So
Was there anything
prove
like?
yourself.
Yeah, you need to prove yourself. Thank you. Was there anything like, specific that you guys like went through like early on maybe that you really like? It was a really tough obstacle that you had to like break through almost.
Yeah, so we hired this one company, and they were gonna prototype our product. And 6 months down the road, they did not have anything to show. We were in constant communication with them. Communication was horrible. They basically 6 months after we hired them and paid them X amount of money, they said like, "Oh, do you guys even have a market viable product? Is this thing even gonna sell?" And I was like, I hired you. Why are you questioning my credibility or the, you know, credibility of the business? So like, it's little shit like that. And so we had to fire them, and it's like, we got to go find someone completely different. And we wasted 6 months of our time that now we got to go make up for.
Yeah, and we hired them thinking, you know, they're gonna do it for us, and they had a terrible mindset about, pushing our product forward. Matt and I want to see this thing on the market tomorrow, if possible, but it's not. But in their heads, we're just a little side project. And that's definitely something that we took from that experience, even though it wasn't the best experience. But when you're going for a partnership, you got to understand who they are, what they can provide, and you specify that right at the beginning, so there's no questions later.
Yeah.
And also a big thing is communication. I mean, we would email them a week and a half later, we wouldn't have a response, and that's unbelievably frustrating as it is. And then when we finally get a hold of them, it's just they don't have anything.
Yeah. No, you mentioned the word partnership. So you guys are co-founders. Can you kind of talk about that dynamic and you guys are friends, co-founders? What's going on with that? What do you guys do?
Yeah, so I mean, it's a good balance, and it's got to be a healthy balance of that friendship and that business. We're calling each other probably 5-6 times a day, right. Constantly communicating. If we have a problem with each other, we're legally binded to a contract, so we got to figure that problem out. It's kind of like a marriage. But you end up figuring it out. I mean, we got a good dynamic going.
Yeah, I feel like, at least for us, two co-founders really works well, because one person by themselves, I feel like the process might be a little too slow. And then if there's 3-4 people, there's all these different opinions coming in. So Matt and I work really well together. We both have our specific, I would say, skills.
Yeah.
And we, at every little project, we discuss it, find our path, and we go for it. And that's probably 5-6 times a day. I mean, it's constant.
Keep each other motivated too, because that's a big one.
Yeah. Can you guys talk about the importance of leadership maybe too, and especially in entrepreneurship, not only leading a team, but also leading yourself?
Yeah. So if I'm not gonna do it, he's not gonna do it.
Yeah.
If I'm not gonna do it, your employees aren't gonna do it. So you can't expect your employees to do something that you're not gonna do, and that's what the perspective I've gained on a partnership is. All right, we're making a website. I don't want to do the website. That seems boring. But I got to do the website, or he's not going to do it, right? So you just got to get through the little tough, because there's all these little things that you don't want to do, but you got to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. Kind of bringing it back to 4's. I understand you guys were part of the MSUEA pitch competition, and you won the pitch competition actually. So that's great stuff. Can you talk about that experience and what that was like for you guys?
Yeah, that was a great experience. It was actually right next door, and at the time. We were kind of in the same position now, but we've made tremendous steps since. But I really enjoyed the experience. I mean, because you're super nervous, you're super excited, but you also got to be smart and ready to answer questions all at the same time. So it's this crazy storm going on inside of you that I feel like the classroom doesn't give you. It doesn't give you that opportunity, in a classroom setting, but. Outside the classroom, starting your company, being part of Burgess EA, you get opportunities like this right here where you can, learn public speaking, things like that.
Yeah.
That really help you out.
Did you guys start off really good at public speaking, or what has that journey been like for you guys?
No, I mean, I used to be scared as hell at public speaking, and then the more you do it, and the more you just overcome those fears, the easier it gets. The first time I public spoke, it wasn't about go out there and do good at it. It was go out there and just do it, because you got to get over this fear, because if you're going to be an entrepreneur, this is what you got to do.
Yeah, and as time goes on, we're doing this more and more, and we're only going to grow from these experiences. A year ago today, we would probably be shaking a little more than we are right now. But
yeah.
Even right now, we're not doing perfect. But that's the growing process. A year from now, we should be better. A year from then, we should be better.
Yeah. Can you talk about putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, so we could even use right now as an example, and I guess how that's fueled the growth of not only yourselves but also your business too, doing things that you're not used to?
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna get really uncomfortable trying to start a business, that's for sure. I'd say I'd love to test myself mentally and put myself in uncomfortable situations just to grow my mentality, because that's what's gonna grow your mentality. You're not gonna grow your mentality staying in a comfort zone. You gotta get out of that comfort zone, or you're gonna stay where you're at. And you can't be complacent as an entrepreneur. You're gonna get beat by all your competitors as well.
Yeah, kind of like I said earlier, why not start as soon as possible? Why not start at a younger age, maybe in college? Try and start sooner and grow from there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's talk about CES for a little bit. So can you guys explain to everyone here what CES is and your guys' experience within it, because it was a pretty big show.
Yeah, so CES is Consumer Electronics Show. It's an annual event hosted in downtown Las Vegas. The whole goal is to have the top companies in the world, meet for 5-6 days and just build those connections and build off each other and find new potential partnerships. And that's exactly the environment we saw when we were there. Obviously, like there's Amazon, Samsung,
all the big
those
companies.
large corporations that have these big, beautiful booths. But we had kind of a smaller one, but still people wanted to come and walk up and see whether or not we could make those partnerships or if they could help us in specific fields.
Yeah, we made the best connections of our lives at that event, and we pitched our product probably over like 300 times. And we had our prototype there, like we were handing out our business cards. It was a networking event. You're on your feet all day long for 3 days.
Can you talk about any like notable like companies or experiences you might have had?
Yes,
CES?
so one guy, you guys know Skull Candy, right? The earbuds. So he took Skull Candy from a $6 million company to a $650 million company by globalizing it. And he saw our product and came up to us. We've already had, meetings after with him talking about our product, but he wants to globalize our product in Europe once we get launched. And he actually distributes for our competitor, which is named Sabre. Another one that sparks my interest is he worked with Obama.
Yeah, another guy worked for the Obama administration and was one of the original executives of Uber. He found some interest in us.
Yeah, investing and whatnot.
Yeah, and of course there's plenty of manufacturing connections we've made, not only electrical, physical, or mechanical, electrical, both overseas and in the United States. So we really came back with a few different options on how we want to go about it.
And we got some like media coverage there where we were getting interviewed about our product and whatnot. And from that media coverage, our other competitor called Mace, it's Mace brand, the one we were going to get a cease and desist letter from, actually found your name on Instagram, DM'd you from their official page and said, like, here's our number. Like, we want to help you get to market quicker. Please contact us. We want to work with you. So we have a meeting with them next week. And that would be huge because they could really take us off.
What does that feel like as a college student, being like reached out to by like such like a big like established like IPO worthy company? How do you even like respond to that? How do you feel?
Oh, I mean, I was in shock. I just saw there was a request in my Instagram DMs, and it was Mace with the little check, and I was at first like a little intimidated because they're such a large company and we're trying to beat them out in their market. So I wasn't quite sure what they were going to say, but I mean, it was a very positive message. He said he saw us on it's called TechCrunch. I mean, it just gives articles about new stuff at CES basically. They saw us there, found me on Instagram, reached out, and that's about it so far. We don't know exactly what they want or where they're trying to go with it, but like Matt said, we have a meeting next week, so hopefully we can figure something out.
Yeah, we just got to make sure they're not trying to screw us over. So like we're gonna have to have lawyers in the meetings, and hopefully we can make a cool deal with them and make it propel us.
Awesome. Well, good luck with that. And I understand that you guys are not the only MSU students there. Can you talk about like the value of like being an MSU student at an event like this and like what it really means to be a Spartan, I guess?
Yeah, you get a lot of attention if you go to Michigan State. We had like a flag at our booth, and we had so many people like coming up to us like go green or like go blue, whatever that means. And then we had like all Big Ten people like coming up to us wondering what we were up to there. And people respect you a lot more if you go to a big university like this. And
yeah, having that flag
cool
at our booth, like people recognize that logo and it catches their eye, and they would come out, "Are you guys undergraduates?" We're like, "Yeah," and it's almost like surprising in their eyes that us standing there at 21 in a environment full of huge corporations. People found that very interesting, and especially many of the connections we made. They go to that area. So we were in an area that it's all the startups, and we were specifically in the university startups. So, you know, some of the big dogs would come down there, try and catch your company while it's at like an infant stage and really explode it from there. And having that Michigan State flag like brought them in. They're like, oh, there's a kind of infant company. Let's go talk to them. And that's how we made the big connections.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've heard this said a lot. Like the network of Michigan State is like its biggest asset. So do not underestimate that.
It is huge.
So I'm curious more about you guys, I guess, like almost personally. So like, how do you guys like manage your time doing all this? So what is it like being a student and an entrepreneur? Where do you like put them first? Like, do you put entrepreneur first, then student, entrepreneur?
Yeah.
How do you manage your time? How do you feel about that?
I put entrepreneurship first and this business first because this has taught me more than school has ever taught me, if I'm being completely honest. This is where most of my time goes because I think it's the most valuable and it's going to be my career in the future. So I think, you know, getting more credit from the university for working on your business would be pretty cool too, but unfortunately the school system has yet to innovate.
It's hectic, and staying organized is pretty difficult.
Yeah.
We try and understand both of each other's schedules and where we have those gaps in the week where we can, you know, focus on 4's because, you know, I'm taking 16 credits right now at the same time. Where we do this for like 25 hours a week probably.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really tough to manage, and especially you think you're just trying to release one product, but one product comes with like 7 different projects all at the same time, and when you're trying to manage all of them at the same time, and it gets very hectic. We have Zoom meetings every single day, two times a day.
With different people.
Like if we have class at 10:20, we have a Zoom meeting at 9 a.m. with someone.
And then we're on the phone at 1 in the morning. You know,
Yeah.
it's like it doesn't stop.
It's the constant communication which like helps with organization though, because if
Yeah.
you know if we went a day without talking to each other, we would forget stuff. We would lose track, and you know ultimately kind of start crumbling and downfall from there.
But it is a lot of fun, guys. Like it's a lot of work, but it is so much fun.
Yeah, it comes off as like a negative thing. Like,
It's not.
It's bad, but it's fun, and that's why you got to choose like a product or a mission that you're really passionate about, or you're gonna toss
hate
in
it.
the trash quicker than you started.
It doesn't feel like work unless it's like little
Yeah.
tedious work. But no, for the most part, it's just fun.
Yeah,
It's a good time.
great time, and we get opportunities like this.
Yeah.
That, you know, teach us a lot.
Right.
Yeah, you're kind of diving into a little bit. Like, what type of mentality do you have to be like a student entrepreneur, as opposed to just like a normal student, I guess? Like, what are the responsibilities? What sacrifices do you have to make?
Grit, like honestly, like how bad do you want it? There was times where it got really hard, and we were just like, we want to keep going. Like, yup, let's keep going. Like if you push it something for long enough, like it's gotta happen. It's just gotta happen. So, like persevere and keep going with it, and then it'll evolve. I really believe like what you put in is what you're gonna get out of it.
Yeah, awesome. Do you have any like favorite parts of like your entrepreneurial journey that you guys want to share? Did you have like an aha moment where you like knew this was for me? Anything like that?
I would say even the pitch competition, because just winning that and knowing that there's 3 judges sitting in front of me that believe in the product and believe that this could fit into a market, you know, that's great reassurance right there. We also won the Kaufman Family Scholarship Award a few months ago. You know, that's just more assurance and more confidence that, because sometimes we're doing all this work and we're not getting, that no one even knows. And it kind of gets a little, you know, mentally scrambled up.
To elaborate on that, like when we're talking to people who like run $100 million companies or like even multi-billion-dollar companies, and they're respecting us, and we can talk and work together as like a partnership, that's when I'm like, oh, like this is real, right? Like I'm in this world now.
Yeah, awesome. You guys touched on it a little bit earlier too, but like, what does the future look like, I guess, for you guys? So you guys are still MSU students, going to be graduating in the near future here. What does the future look like for you guys, and then also the future of 4's?
So we got 2 more semesters each, so not this semester, next fall, so we're 4.5. All in. Yeah, like this is my passion. Like I love doing this. I really feel like it's a big purpose in my life, and it doesn't even feel like work most of the time. Like I couldn't imagine doing all this for 2 years and then going back and working a 9 to 5. Just couldn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we made it this far, and if we're gonna make it this far and just give up, what's the point? What's the point of all the work we did? And we think we really landed on something here, and we know if we continue to put in the effort, it will happen.
It's gonna happen. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And then like being an entrepreneur can be like really hard. You have like the ups and downs, right? So like, what motivates you guys to like keep going, like staying with it? Like, do you have an inspiration and motivation?
I just like Google motivational videos. I'll just put them on like repeat, and I'll be like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
just listen to Kobe
quotes
over and over again.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you need that break though. Like sometimes you need like a couple days off or like even a week off and like not talking to you, right?
Yeah.
Like,
No, it does help, and
don't just quit. Like reset. Like go on a vacation or something, and then come back to it because you come back with a lot more ideas.
Yeah, because we'll go 3-4 days just constant, like going hard, and like we'll just kind of tell each other let's just take today off because the second we keep going, that's when we see it as work, and that's when we see it as struggles, frustration, stress, instead of we own this thing. Like, we can control how it goes, and if we take a relaxing day, there's no one really like barking at us because we own it. So it's kind of up to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So being students yourselves, I'm a student, many of us are students. Can you like run me through like a typical day? So what does it look like? Wake up, get breakfast, or do you guys go straight to 4's? Like, what does your day look like?
Wake up, emails, checking emails, and then class, and then right after class we're in meetings usually. After that I try to go to the gym, work out, get my mind off it, but then it's like we're back at it, we're on the phone, responding to emails, doing more things. And
it's not a 9 to 5. It's not right at 5. You're done working. I mean, you don't know when someone's going to email you back and what they need at all.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking with people overseas. We're talking to people on the West Coast. So we have all these different time zones. I mean, one of our guys is in Australia right now. So communicating with him, it's very odd. I mean, it's at all hours of the day. They could be very late, very early, but
self-discipline, if you don't got a boss, you got to be your own boss. So, you can't wimp out of things, right? You got to be like, all right, I got to do that. So all comes down to self-discipline.
Awesome. Last question here, and then we'll open up to everyone here for some audience questions. Do you guys have any non-negotiables, either in your business or your life, things that you make sure get done on a daily basis, weekly basis, anything like that?
Take care of yourself first. If you're not taking care of yourself, you're not going to have a sharp mentality. That comes first is your mental health, I believe, and taking care of my physical health promotes that. Yeah,
sleeping well, eating well, mental health is very important because if any one of those start dropping, then the work drops right with it.
And have some fun too. Go have fun.
You have to laugh because if you stop laughing,
it's just not. It's not fun no more.
It's not fun anymore.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Can we clap it up for them real quick?